Sarah, right?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So Anis Maisarah will be presenting on the theme Space and Youth. The title is Pencemaran Ilmu Sains Angkasa dengan Astrology dan peranan belia masa kini. Okay.
Yeah.
Ada nak share screen?
Oh, ada.
Okay, boleh try.
Okay.
Okay, boleh start bila-bila?
Okay. Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anis Maisarah binti Yassir Azlin, and I am a second-year student from University of Malaya. I'm studying Sharia and Astronomy, and I'm also a representative of Apadilangit. So today, I want to share with you, not my research or anything, but I just want to share with you about astrology from space science point of view. Okay. So, why am I talking about astrology? Okay, we all know now that astrology is in fact a very well-known and a very, very famous choice of topic conversed among teenagers and adults. Okay, these are some examples. Okay, you can see here, when I type astrology in Instagram, there's like 3.6 million posts about it. And all the thoughts about astrology, there's like so much about it. Like this one girl over here, men find interest in astrology or top here. What phase is the moon right now? Why do I miss so many people who are not in my life anymore? So we can see that astrology is very much used and very they have a very big influence on youth these days. Okay. So not only this trend happened in Malaysia, but all across the world. So some of the usage of astrology, as we can see here, is about horoscopes, like what will your day go today if you're an Aries? Or what does all your friendship means when you're a Sagittarius? Also, what are your personality traits based on your zodiac? So these predictions that seem so interesting to find out about are actually doesn't have any scientific grounds or any solid method. Okay. So these are like all the things that the youth today like very interested into. So what I'm trying to say is, why are we wasting our time talking about this stuff? Well, we are the youth. We have the brains, we have the energy. So why don't we go and like learn new stuff and like not this very useless stuff lah. So like Anush Subedi said in his research papers, the role of youth is of most importance in today's time. So it's very long. I'll just read some of it. Young youth recognize problems and can solve them. Youth are strong forces in social movement. They educate children about their rights and all that. So like you can see, youth is a very important part of the society, because we ourselves are like the most we have the most people in like the generation age. We are the we covers a lot of the earth. Okay. So the University of California Museum of Paleontology also stated in their website that astrology is not a very scientific way to answer questions. Like a lot of the YouTube videos, all of the scientists that I've read about, they all say the same thing. They all say that astrology doesn't really they don't support astrology at all. A lot of them. Yeah, although astrologists seek to explain the natural world, they don't usually attempt to critically evaluate whether those explanations are valid. And this is a key part of science. The community of scientists evaluates its ideas against evidence from the natural world and rejects or modifies those ideas when evidence don't support them. Astrologists do not take the same critical perspective on their own astrological ideas. So this is like the judgment on astrology from a lot of scientists. But unfortunately, a lot of us doesn't know the difference between astrology and astronomy. And that is one of the reasons why people believe in astrology, because they think astrology is in fact scientifically proven, just like astronomy, because like they're the same name, right? Oh, also because dulu in the ancient times, people use astrology kan untuk all the agriculture things. So it's actually the past astrology is actually very right. It's not wrong, but the astrology used today is a bit mumbo jumbo and all. So this is the experiment of Nick Allen, a professor of sociology, University of Essex. He conducted an interview or something, and he questioned a lot of people about the question: how scientific would you consider astrology or horoscopes? So, as you can see, there's a lot of people that stated very scientific about astrology. So in the research Nick Allen carried out, he said that he tested the hypothesis that people get confused between astrology and astronomy, and it is this that could account for widespread apparent belief in the scientific status of astrology. Even well-respected national newspapers have been known to make this mistake. Okay, so this has proven that people don't know the difference between astrology and astronomy, so that's why they believe astrology lah. So actually, I have made my own interview from my friends, and 25% of them, only 25% answered yes. They know the difference between astronomy and astrology. The other 75% said no, they don't know. So this is actually a big problem in our society, actually in the world, because astrology is actually it's not we don't have to believe in them. So the difference between astronomy and astrology, this is I'm telling the differences for those 75% of my friends and for others who don't know. So first, even the definition in the dictionary is different. Astronomy is a branch of science which deals with celestial objects, space, and the physical universe as a whole. But astrology is the study of the movements and relative positions of celestial bodies, interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. Yeah, it can be right, but sometimes, no, most of the times, it's not very reliable and doesn't have any scientific method lah. So the next differences is in decision making. In astronomy, we use scientific proof to affirm hypotheses with respect to the universe and its starting points. Use all these data we get from telescopes and satellites, and then we make inference from them, and then we get a hypothesis. And then more data coming in, and then we tested the hypothesis on those data. So we get to know, is this right or is this wrong? Right, that is astronomy, right? So in astrology, the mysterious speculations have very little legitimacy. Astrologers don't differentiate between different cases using logic. They prefer, when someone tell them tell the astrologer a problem or like their personality or such things, they usually tend to like just guess on the spot. And most of scientists said that actually astrologers doesn't know that they doesn't know like what they were doing. They were just playing a game of chance. Like it's only a chance that they get right. It's 50-50. Either they get right or either they get wrong. That is astrologer. Okay. So the next difference is star chart. In astronomy, we have this, we both have star charts in astronomy and astrology. But in astronomy, we believe in precession because, yeah, that is actually a fact. Precession does happen every few 100,000 years. So the North Star will change in a few 100,000 years. Yeah, it will change. But in astrology, they does not take account precession, and the star chart remained the same and unupdated since 1,000 years ago. So that is why people, scientists, really are against astrology because they don't know the facts. Next difference is for the ecliptic line, the number of constellations for the zodiac. Okay, this is the most famous usage of astrology nowadays. So the ecliptic line contains of the 360 degree rotation, and all of them consist of constellations on them. And then in astronomy, there's actually 13 constellations rather than 12, because 12 is just because it's easy for 12 months in a year. So like we make it official that there's 12, but actually there's the 13th constellation, the missing one, the mysterious one. That is the Ophiuchus, that man over there. So that is actually a fact that we watch using our telescope, satellites, and others. But in astrology, they only have data on the 12 zodiac signs. They don't have on the Ophiuchus sign. So like when people who were born in the Ophiuchus sign, I don't know which one because it's not okay. But when people are born in the Ophiuchus constellation, they are not given any data because astrology doesn't have the data. They only have 12 zodiacs. Yeah, so that is why. Again, scientists are very against astrology. Okay, that is the end of differences. So now I'm just sharing to like people who doesn't know where to learn astronomy but want to learn after they've known the difference between astrology and astronomy. So like you can search through the internet and get on Khan Academy or YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube channels that promotes physics or maths about astronomy. So there's also books that supports knowledge for astronomy, and the magazines are like what I wrote here: Scientific American, National Geographic. Okay. So another way of learning astronomy is to join the space community like Apadilangit, MiSI, Club, or an astronomy club near you, or at any observatories or in your school. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for presenting. And I do agree with you that many people actually doesn't know the difference between astronomy and also astrology, because I think the thing in that area is not really being shown in the science classes in school, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is a good topic to be shared among the youngsters for them to know about this. And open to panel, do you have any questions? Shazri said thank you. He know now the difference between astrology.
You're welcome.
Anyone else want to add anything?
I think
Afiq?
scientifically, like it's it's humankind's first attempt at trying to understand something, and the first attempt isn't necessarily the best or most accurate. So you refine your models, you make improvements, and then you move on to better things.
Yeah, we have to move on. But unfortunately, people nowadays still use astrology. They don't move on.
It's the difference between using the Nokia 3300, you know, the old Nokia, and then everyone else is using a smartphone. You don't have all the features.
Yeah. Same.
But it's like our first attempt at chemistry was alchemy. Our first attempt at astrology. They built it in a museum. But you know, you can learn from that perspective. That much it's useful, you know, to from it that way. But to apply it in the same way as you apply science, it's not very good.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I think that's all from everyone. Thank you, Sarah, for presenting.
Thank you.
All right, we